All right, let's talk about something that's at the very heart of Lightning Web Components. How in the world do your data and your user interface stay so perfectly in sync? We're going to break down the three key tools, @Track, @API, and @Wire, that make this magic happen. Let's dive right in.
Seriously, have you ever stopped to think about it? You type something into a form and bam, a welcome message updates with every single letter you type. There's no page refresh, no little loading spinner, nothing. So how does the component just know what to do? What's the invisible string connecting what you type to what you see? Well, it all comes down to a core principle of modern web development. And that magic word is reactivity. This is the secret sauce. Right here, it's the engine running under the hood that's constantly watching for changes in your data. And the second a change happens, it automatically re-renders just the right parts of the UI. It's what makes modern apps feel so incredibly fast and just alive. Okay, so if reactivity is the what, the automatic update, then the how is something we call data binding. You can think of data binding as the actual plumbing, the fundamental connection that links a variable in your JavaScript code directly to an element on your screen. Now, this connection really comes in two main flavors. You've got one-way binding, which is like a one-way street. Data flows from your JavaScript out to the HTML to be displayed. Simple. But then you have two-way binding, and this is where it gets really cool. It's a two-way street. The user can actually change something on the screen, which sends that change back to the JavaScript, which then, in turn, updates the UI again. It's a full circle. And this shows that two-way loop perfectly. A user types something, that fires off an onChange event, that event calls a little JavaScript function, we call it a handler, and its only job is to grab the new value and update our property. The instant that property changes, the whole reactive system sees it and says, aha, time to update the screen. It's a clean, super predictable, and really powerful cycle. Okay, so this reactive system is amazing, right? But how do we control it? How do we tell the framework, hey, this property should be reactive, or this one needs to be public, or this one needs to pull data from the server? Well, for that, we have some special tools called decorators. And when it comes to reactivity in LWC, it really all boils down to three main decorators that you absolutely need to get familiar with. And here they are. Think of these as your developer power-ups: @Track, @API, and @Wire. Each one gives you a very specific superpower over how your components manage data and talk to each other. So let's break them down. All right, time to open up the toolkit and see exactly what each tool is for, and more importantly, when you should reach for it. First up is @Track. Now here's the deal. Simple things, like a string or a number, they're already reactive by default. But what if you have a complex object, like a user object with a first name, last name, and email? By default, LWC doesn't watch for changes inside that object. So you use @Track to tell the framework, hey, pay close attention to everything inside this object or array. If anything changes, even way down deep, I need you to re-render the UI. This is absolutely crucial for things like editing forms or updating a list of records. Next, we've got @API. This one is all about communication. It basically hangs a sign in a property that says, hey, I'm public. It allows a parent component to pass data down into this component. And why is that a big deal? Because it's the entire foundation of building reusable components. You can create one generic display panel and then just reuse it all over your app by passing in different data through its @API properties. Super powerful. And finally, we have @Wire. Oh man, this one is a total game changer. The @Wire decorator is your reactive hook straight into Salesforce data. You wire a property up to something like an Apex method, and LWC takes care of everything else, calling the method, getting the data, and dropping it right into your property. And the best part? It's reactive. If that Salesforce data changes on the server, the Wire service can automatically push the new data to you. It's like having a live data subscription, and it saves you from writing so much manual server code. So that's the whole toolkit: @Track for deep changes, @API for parent-child communication, and @Wire for fetching Salesforce data. Let's do a quick final review just to make sure these ideas stick. So here's the simplest way to remember it. Use @Track when you need a deep change detector for your objects and arrays. Grab @API when you need to create a public property so parent components can pass data to it. And use @Wire when you want a data subscription to automatically pull in and get updates from Salesforce. Look, really getting a handle on these three tools is absolutely fundamental to building great Lightning Web components. They're the core of how your components manage their own data, talk to each other, and interact with the whole Salesforce platform. So the only real question left is, which one are you going to build with first?